Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tackling a dynamic that's probably playing out in your living room right now, the absolutely crucial difference between active digital creation and passive consumption. We've got a lot of ground to cover, so let's just dive right in and break down how the experts suggest we navigate this whole digital landscape.
To kick things off, let's talk about the number two. In July 2025, a massive Sky News report highlighted a UK government proposal to cap kids' social media use at exactly 2 hours a day per platform. Think about that. If a kid uses 3 different apps, you're still looking at 6 hours a day. It really shows just how monumental this shift in government approach actually is. Now, this specific cap is part of a much wider screen time crackdown over in the UK. The government is actively stepping in to put the brakes on what they officially call compulsive screen time among children. They're basically looking at this as a systemic issue, one that needs serious top-down intervention to manage how young people are interacting with their devices every single day. And honestly, these proposals go way beyond a simple time limit. We're talking about enforcing strict curfews, specifically restricting access during school hours and late at night. But here's the real kicker, the major difference from the screen time limits we're all used to. Instead of a little pop-up reminder that kids can just easily swipe away, these changes would trigger a hard lock on the device once those limits are hit. The driving force behind all of this comes straight from the UK Technology Secretary. And their concern is really twofold. It's not just the sheer, mind-boggling volume of time kids spend scrolling on TikTok or Snapchat. It's equally about the actual nature of the content they're consuming. They're seriously evaluating the quality, not just the quantity, of that daily digital diet. Of course, whenever top-down policies like this pop up, it sparks a super common dilemma for parents. The immediate defense is usually something like, well, wait, how will my kid learn to code or be tech-savvy if I don't give them a screen early on? And it sounds totally logical, but there is a huge flaw in that argument. It treats all screen time as exactly the same. And as the research clearly shows, it absolutely is not. So, to really make sense of this, experts draw a super firm line between two totally distinct categories. They call them tech tools and Drool tools. It's a simple, catchy distinction, but honestly, it completely rewires how we look at a smartphone or a tablet. Let's start with the big culprit behind the UK's concern, Drool tools. These are your passive, totally mindless forms of screen engagement. And let's be real, the word drool perfectly nails that glazed-over, zombie-like trance. We've all seen it in kids, and hey, we adults fall into it pretty easily too, right? Heavy engagement here is directly linked to digital dependency, severely reduced attention spans, and just a general lack of creativity. So what do these actually look like out in the wild? It's the endless, some-numbing scrolling through social media. It's binge-watching random shows on Netflix for 5 hours straight. Or it's playing those highly repetitive mobile games that offer zero real educational value. They seem totally harmless in the moment, sure, but they offer little to absolutely no developmental benefit to a growing brain. But let's flip the script and look at the positive side. Tech tools. These are active, they're empowering, and they are deeply purposeful digital resources. When kids use these, they aren't just staring. They're actively engaging their minds, developing actual skills, and building confidence. And the cool part, depending on the child's development, you can guide them into using these as early as 3 or 4 years old. Concrete examples of this empowering tech would be highly interactive educational apps, coding platforms, or even design tools like Canva. Picture a kid taking a basic online coding class. They're not just a passive audience member. They're figuring out logic, they're solving problems, and they're building vital digital literacy. They are truly engaging their brains. Because of that massive difference, the single question needs to be your ultimate recurring anchor. Before a device ever changes hands, experts suggest you should just pause and ask yourself, is this a tech tool or a Drool tool? Running the app or video through that one simple filter instantly empowers you to make much better intentional decisions about what you're letting into a young mind. Applying that filter also helps you dodge a super common pitfall, the babysitter trap. Look, in a busy house, it is incredibly tempting to just hand over a screen so you can finally fold the laundry or answer a work email. We've all been there. But the framework warns that relying on screens primarily as pacifiers is a fast track to some serious developmental roadblocks down the line. Now, to be crystal clear, the goal here is not to ban screens altogether. That is just highly unrealistic in the modern world. Instead, it's all about keeping your hands firmly on the steering wheel.
Intentional control is non-negotiable because kids, by their very nature, are going to push boundaries. You have to deliberately steer the purpose and the outcome of the time they spend on a device. And doing that requires a really delicate balancing act. On one hand, you absolutely want to actively curate that on-screen enrichment, things like memory games, critical thinking apps, and those coding classes we talked about. But as the framework insists, you have to weigh those equally against tactile off-screen play. I'm talking building with wooden blocks, solving physical puzzles, playing chess, or getting outside for sports. Because those off-screen experiences, they aren't just filler. They are absolutely foundational to development. Building blocks and playing sports foster deep imagination. They build necessary physical coordination, and they develop essential social skills that a glowing screen literally cannot replicate. Those physical world interactions are every bit as important as digital literacy. Ultimately, this entire conversation boils down to one simple concept: creating versus consuming. We really need to encourage kids to compose a song on a digital keyboard, design a cool poster on Canva, or build a basic website. When they create, they learn that technology is this amazing, powerful tool for expression and innovation, not just a vending machine that spits out passive entertainment. We want to raise creators. So, as we wrap things up, I really want this powerful summary statement to stick with you. The difference between a tech tool and a Drool tool isn't just semantics. It's the entire foundation for navigating childhood in today's digital age. By being intentional, we help build strong, capable minds and a lifelong love for learning. The screen itself is not the enemy. It's entirely about how we choose to use it. I'm going to leave you with a really provocative question to ponder today. The very next time a device gets powered on in your home, how are you going to optimize that next hour? Is it going to be a gateway to learning and active creation? Or is it just going to be another hour of passive scrolling? The amazing thing is, the opportunity lies entirely in that choice. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.